Well, we are live. Well, welcome to this amazing LifeVantage overview. We are so thrilled and excited to have you on our doctor's presentation tonight. This conversation is going to be a little bit different than our typical call that we have. Going to be specifically diving in why medical professionals, doctors, nurses, therapists along the line are being attracted and funneling into this incredible company. I'm going to pull up our slides and tell you a little bit more about our special guest here tonight. If you guys can see my slides okay, give me a little bit of a, yeah, it's good in the chat. Let me know, a little thumbs up action. It's good. Okay, awesome, fantastic. So welcome to tonight's presentation. I'm so excited that you are here. My name is Rachel Jackson. I am your host and facilitator for today. And I'm not gonna be talking too much because we really wanna leave the time for the experts that are here. I'm gonna be picking their brains about what it is about LifeVantage and these cutting edge nutrigenomic formulas that are helping us biohack our energy and our vitality and to feel better, and why doctors, nurses, medical professionals are flooding into this company, why they said yes, and why really we believe that LifeVantage is positioning themselves in the medical breakthrough categories that's going to change, billions of lives over the next coming decades. So I'm really excited for that. I'm in Fountain Hills, Arizona. I'm married to my amazing husband, Josh. I did go to school for nursing, but my background is really in retail and as a part-time nutritionist. So I've had a passion for wellness for now 16 years. Been in or out of the wellness sector in some aspect. About 7 years ago, I dove into a direct selling model into weight loss. And that's where I met a lot of the co-founders of Team Heart and some of these amazing professionals over the last couple of years. And it's been a joy. So sorry, guys. And it's been a joy. And in 29 months ago, we decided to say yes to LifeVantage after seeing some cutting edge research that made our hair blow back. And tonight, I think you're going to have the same experience. You're going to see it. You're going to hear it. Sometimes it's a little much, but it's like, oh my God, when we realized what we had our hands on, we couldn't stay quiet. We had to tell everybody about this amazing company. And it's been a whirlwind in the last 2.5 years. Well over almost nearly 40,000 people have joined into this organization. Thousands of lives have been changed on these products, and you're going to get a better perspective of that tonight. We have an amazing panel. I'm going to introduce each of them and bring them on at certain times to tell you a little bit of a different part of the story. We got Dr. Sean McKee, Dr. Brett Brimhall, and Dr. Jean DeLucia that are joining us here tonight. And you're going to be learning not only the science, not only the clinical aspect of Protandim and what doctors have used it in their practice and have seen real living testimonials and data with their patients. And you're also going to see why many medical professionals are saying yes to taking the time and investing the time in building a side business that is providing more fulfillment, more options, more flexibility, and a lot more time with loved ones. So you're going to be hearing all of that here tonight. Let's dive right into the science. I got to meet Sean about 1.5 years ago. We obviously met through this company. We've got to work a little bit together. She teaches me a ton. I've taught her a ton. And we've become good friends. And Sean has a very interesting background, not only an amazing sports enthusiast as a triathlete and an Ironman competitor, but somebody that is also double board certified as a neuroradiologist. She trained at the University of Florida and at Tufts New England Medical Center, former chief resident at the University of Florida Shands Jacksonville Diagnostic Radiology Program, and the former chief of neuroradiology at the USAF Keesler Medical Center in Biloxi. More importantly, guys, she's a mom of 2 amazing young boys, 16 and 8-year-old teenage boys, and has an amazing rock star marriage with Dr. John Day McKee, who's a gastroenterologist. Sean is going to be diving into really the LifeVantage science and really the granular aspect of what these products are doing on a molecular level inside of people's body. And there's nobody better to explain it than Dr. Sean McKee. So Dr. Sean, I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rachel. That was a very lovely introduction. I really appreciate it. And Yes, we are learning from each other. I love your communication skills and the way you can get this out to the masses, because people really need to know this. In fact, about 7 years ago, you know, as you might imagine, running Ironman triathlons, being a busy full-time neuroradiologist, married to a gastroenterologist with 2 busy boys, and running marathons and ultra marathons, I was kind of burning the candle at, as I like to say, all 12 ends. And so something had to give, and it was my health. I became exhausted, and that was not okay for my husband, my kids, my family, my life, you know, myself. I didn't want to be just worn out and not have any gusto. And that's basically what I was. I had no vitality. I was kind of like meh at the end of the day. And so my sweet husband suggested I see this anti-aging doctor. And, you know, she put me on all the traditional antioxidants and, you know, extracts and, you know, L-theanine and olive leaf extract and ginkgo biloba and all the things you read about in the health magazines. And, you know, even I would go to see an herbalist, and I was just trying to get upstream of what was going wrong with my body that was kind of exposed to a lot of oxidation. My coach called me the oxidizer, because I would do a CrossFit class, make sure my name was at the top of the board, you know, for having done the most wall balls or burpees or whatever. And then when I would go run 12 miles before work, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, you're the oxidizer. And I was like, yeah, haha. Oh, that means I'm rusty. So when my doctor, after I complained to her about taking so many pills and not feeling any better, when she told me this went upstream, what she said was it reduced oxidative stress. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I first want to talk about why I was feeling exhausted. Okay. Not only was I, you know, running around like a, you know, crazy woman, but, you know, we live today in a very toxic world. We're exposed to things that, you know, electromagnetic radiation, fumes from diesel fuel and at the gas pump, and aviation fuel, you know, jet fuel, allergens, you know, pollutants, in, you know, chlorine in our water, fluoride in our drinking water, you name it. Our bodies are being hijacked today. And that's why once I passed that point where my body was unable to keep up with that assault, and I tipped over into this overwhelm, you know, that was it. Everything started to kind of malfunction. And what my doctor ended up telling me about was a way to biohack my genes to really optimize the genetic potential that I was born with and become the best version of myself. And that's really what I did through the use of something called nutrigenomics. And that's a big word that just means research on how nutrients and the natural compounds can affect our genes. So you know, you probably know this, but a person who eats a diet that is rich in green leafy vegetables, for instance, organic foods, and vegan, and maybe only grass-fed meats, and really a nice assortment of all the food groups, is going to have a different gene expression than someone that eats a McDonald's Happy Meal every day, or a quarter pounder with cheese and fries. Those may even be twins. You can have the same genetic code, but the one that eats that processed, highly inflammatory diet is going to express those genes that do all kinds of things that cause cancer and inflammation. And the one that eats a healthy diet is going to express the salubrious genes, the ones that benefit the health. And so, you know, in the past, all we've been able to do is really supplement. You take antioxidant vitamins, you supplement with minerals. You're just guessing. Well, you may be low in this or that magnesium. We're probably all deficient in magnesium, and that does need to be supplemented. But with taking supplements, just over-the-counter supplements from GNC and Rite Aid and Walgreens and Walmart, you may have noticed in the news lately that a lot of the things that you think you're buying in these bottles aren't actually in the bottles. There's a huge expose about, you know, you buy a product, you think it's ginkgo biloba, and it's really rice flour. Well, God forbid somebody's allergic to one of the things that they put in those pills that isn't supposed to be in there. You just can't trust your body to guess and just throw a bunch of supplements at it like I was doing 7 years ago. There's new science, there's breakthroughs, there's peer-reviewed published research, you know, independently funded by major medical schools. And that's what my doctor told me about 7 years ago. And that really looks at the end results on tissues, on organ systems, and it's working. So what we're going to start talking about now is really one of the master regulators of our body's own cytoprotective response, and that is called NRF2. It's a bunch of long words strung together. Just suffice it to say NRF2. Sounds like the little football. but this is the master regulator of the detoxification, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and other cytoprotective mechanisms. It has been discovered, it was discovered in 1994, and since then, thousands of studies have been written on it, and Washington State University back in 2015 did a meta-analysis of all the literature on it, and their conclusion was, we may well be on the verge of a new literature on the health effects of Nrf2, which may become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. That's saying quite a lot, isn't it? So there are lots of Nrf2 activators. Nrf2, if you could name anything, and I challenge you to name anything that's good for you. Think of green tea, think of probiotics, think of wasabi, cold therapy, exercise, turmeric, anything you can name that you know is good for you, other than, mother's love. Okay, that may be the only exception. Maybe it's a Nrf2 activator, but pretty much, I challenge you to come up with something you can take or do that you know and that has a lot of scientific backing that is good for you, and it's not a Nrf2 activator. They're pretty much all Nrf2 activators, but they're not equal. So think of Nrf2 as a rheostat. It's not a light switch on and off. It's a rheostat. It can be turned on a little bit, or it can be turned on a lot. And the natural way of turning it on is your body turns it on, and then your body turns it off. It's called pulsatile, and that's natural. That's what exercise does. That's what broccoli does. That's what we're talking about here with this breakthrough. Now, there are lots of them, as I said. Sulforaphane is a compound in broccoli that has been described as it's the gold standard for Nrf2 activators, for natural Nrf2 activators, because it's pretty much it's the most potent single ingredient Nrf2 activator known. And you can see it on that bottom right graph. It activates, it turns up the rheostat maybe 25%. And that does amazing things. There's all kinds of published peer-reviewed studies on the benefits of taking sulforaphane for all kinds of health conditions. There's a couple of drugs illustrated in these slides, but we're not going to talk about any medical processes, because this is a natural supplement. It's not intended to treat, cure, mitigate, prevent any disease. But I want you to notice that rheostat is turned all the way up with Protandim. That is the Nrf2 synergizer, and the reason for that is the synergy. There are 5 ingredients that have been used in human health for centuries that come together in this blend that has patents. In fact, ABC News heard about this. They heard that it can reduce oxidative stress by 40% on average in 30 days, and they were pretty much in disbelief. And if you think about, typically when ABC Primetime or NBC, I forget the name of that show, but 2020, those shows, they come and do an expose on a something. They hear about something and they show up at the door. Usually the CEO is running out the back door with this briefcase over his head. But in this case, this company really wanted to get the word out what this was doing. So they actually welcomed John Quinones. He's a multi-time Emmy Award-winning journalist. And they actually used his blood in their study. And they found that, his oxidative stress came down 45% in 12 days. And why is that? It's because there's a blend of these 5 ingredients that, and I'll just name some of them. They're, turmeric, milk thistle, ashwagandha, bacopa, and green tea. These are things you probably have in your kitchen. You probably use them every day anyway. But they each do a little bit. And in this patented blend together, they actually turn on that Nrf2 pathway, as you saw, very, very much so. It's the most potent Nrf2 activator known. And why is it important? What does it do? Okay, well, we've just talked about it being the master regulator of the body's cytoprotective response, or cellular protection. How does it do it? Well, it actually codes for the production of the survival genes, things like SOD, catalase, and glutathione. These are, SOD is that antioxidant enzyme that will neutralize 1 million free radicals. Rachel, if you go to the next slide, I think that has on there, it neutralizes 1 million free radicals a second after second, versus direct antioxidants, which you can take, like blueberries or acai or pomegranate, those neutralize one free radical for every one antioxidant molecule, and pee it out. You're done with it, one and done. But these enzymes that your body produces, they do it over and over and over again until your body replaces it. And so the ingredients themselves are fantastic, but the actual enzymes that they induce your body to produce are fabulous. Catalase deficiency causes gray hair. Glutathione is a master regulator of the body's, is a master detoxification pathway, phase 1, phase 2 liver detoxification. And the ingredients by themselves are great, but together there is a synergy. It's an 18-fold synergy, or 1800%. So you can take ashwagandha, bacopa, green tea, milk thistle, and turmeric or curcumin, and it will not induce the body's production of these enzymes the way that Protandim does. That's why it has 7 US patents and 5 international patents. So there is a definite reason for this being unique. And if you look at the actually what it does, is it really reduces that age-related increase in oxidative stress. It completely eliminates it. So basically, as we get older, we're exposed to more and more of those things that we talked about earlier: the fumes, the chemicals in the water, the oxidation from the food that we eat and the air that we breathe. And so that's why when you get older, you start to have things like gray hair and wrinkles and aches and pains and things that you didn't have when you were younger. Well, when you activate these enzymes, these antioxidant, anti-inflammatory enzymes, and you turn down the pro-inflammatory pathways through this NRF2 activation, that whole age-related increase in oxidative stress just goes away. And that's profound. That is huge. So that is why the Protandim NRF2 Synergizer is really something that's doing something nothing else does. So it lowers oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. It reduces cellular stress, and it does it by NRF2 activation. These enzymes are, millions of times more effective than direct antioxidants. It regulates hundreds of survival genes. It helps the body repair and rejuvenate its own cells, helps cellular turnover so that the new cells that are being replaced are healthier than the ones that just, were done away with. And interestingly, the National Institute on Aging, which is a subsidiary of the National Institutes of Health, just a couple of years ago published a study stating that it's the only natural supplement proven to extend healthy lifespan in a mammal. So if you look at the PubMed, which is PubMed.gov, pub for public, med for medical.gov for government, our tax dollars at work, type in the word Protandim, the branded supplement. There are 23 peer-reviewed or published studies on PubMed, on the actual branded product. Now, if you look at oxidative stress, there are, 178,000 peer-reviewed published studies on oxidative stress and the impact that it has. And what is oxidative stress? Well, we've been talking about it. It's related to everything that goes wrong after age 20, typically: macular degeneration, cardiac disease, diabetes, aging, skin aging, immune dysfunction, mitochondrial dysfunction, Alzheimer's, all the things you don't want to get: asthma, cancer. Now, we're not saying that taking this will prevent or delay or mitigate or whatever, any of these diseases, but increased oxidative stress is linked to all those things. So doesn't it make sense that you might want to reduce it, especially in today's environment that we live in? All right, so gonna basically reiterate that quote that was done at the Washington State University. Martin Pall, a very, very distinguished researcher's quote. Again, it's astounding to me. It's potentially the most extraordinary preventative and most extraordinary therapeutic breakthrough in the history of medicine. So again, I love this slide. It illustrates what is the gold standard for this NRF2 activation. It's sulforaphane. That is the extract, the compound within broccoli, one of the two main beneficial compounds in broccoli, and it's called the gold standard NRF2 activator. And just look at the difference in the graphs in terms of that rheostat. Broccoli, sulforaphane turns it up a little bit. Protandim activates those survival genes in a much better, more elegant way, and that is why these products are changing everything. So the company's mission is really to biohack the aging code. So we're looking at anti-aging, we're looking at energy, skincare, weight management, and we're taking it really to the next level. So one of the ways that we do it is through Nerve2 with cellular repair, cellular oxidation protection. The other pathway that's so critical, think about oxidation. Where does the energy come from? It comes from these powerhouses in your cell called the mitochondria. They're the factory that produces the energy. What else are they producing? Well, when you produce energy, you produce exhaust, smoke, waste, whatever you want to call it. And what is that? That's damaging. What is right next to that damaging exhaust? The very energy producing factories, the mitochondria. Their mitochondrial membranes are being bombarded by these exhaust damaging compounds, these free radicals. And so mitochondria damage occurs. When that happens, the mitochondria, number one, don't produce as much energy. Number two, they get damaged. And so once they hit a certain point of being damaged, they're destroyed by the body through apoptosis. So you have less functional mitochondria, you have fewer mitochondria, and then the next thing that happens is they produce more exhaust as they become damaged. So they're producing less power, more exhaust, and then they get to a certain point and they're just killed off. So you have fewer and fewer mitochondria. No wonder lack of energy is the most common reason people go to see their doctor. Those are 2 points, oxidative stress and mitochondrial function. The other 2 pillars of cellular vitality are gut health and cellular membrane or neuronal health. Now, we all know the gut, as Hippocrates said, all health begins in the gut, or disease begins in the gut. The gut-brain connection is phenomenally important. There's basically a 4-pound organ in our intestines called the microbiome that is responsible for producing neurotransmitters and antioxidant enzymes. They produce these little buggers produce glutathione, they produce serotonin, they produce they produce all kinds of things. And that gut-brain connection is truly a real connection. And when you have a feeling in your gut, I mean, it's you listen to your gut. I mean, there's all these old sayings that actually, in our infinite wisdom of the ancients, we all know that the gut, that it really is our second brain. So it's really important that we keep replacing the good microbes, the beneficial microbes, because if you drink anything with artificial sweeteners or eat anything with artificial sweeteners, if you drink alcohol, it's going to damage these things. And then the omegas, again, we eat an inflammatory diet. So you want to actually replace your beneficial anti-inflammatory omega-3s and omega-6s. So the Vitality Stack takes care of all of that. It's just the 1, 2, 3, 4 pillars, the core 4 for cellular health and vitality. It's not available in all markets. But I love the fact that this company didn't just stop with that. They actually have a whole array of products that address brain fog, brain function, healthy weight management, the skin. I mean, it's basically Protandim for your skin. It's your largest organ. They're a beautiful combination, and they're all synergistic. They work together, and they really address all these things from a unique and completely scientifically vetted way. And it's just such a pleasure to be involved with such a forward-thinking company, really at the forefront of nutrigenomics. So thank you, Rachel, for allowing me the opportunity to speak about the biohacking and next level LifeVantage. Thank you.
Shawn, it gets me excited every time that I hear you describe it, because I remember learning about oxidative stress when I was, 18, 19 years old, getting into nutrition. And back then, the only thing to do is, you eat your spinach and you eat your blueberries, and even exercising too much like you were causes more oxidative stress. And when I saw that ABC Primetime report, not as a doctor, but just as a consumer, I remember turning to my husband and saying, I need to take this product for the rest of my life. And I'm so grateful that we have, and seeing where the company is going with creating scientifically backed, patented, proven products that are affordable for the masses. I love the fact that they're bringing, really results without them being too costly for our loved ones and for your patients and things like that. So thank you, Shawn. Next I'm going to bring on an osteopath, Dr. Gene DeLucia, who is hailing from Florida. I see that fish in the right-hand corner. Good job. He's a board certified in family medicine. He's received his Bachelor of Science degree in biology from Kent University and his DO degree at Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine. He completed his rotating completing internship at the Suncoast Hospital and has spent nearly 4 decades in family medicine, focusing on physical, internal, and family medicine, and primarily weight loss and anti-aging. But, Dr. Jean's passion is really helping people live longer, not only put more years on the end of their life, but put more life into those years. And he's got a great story here of LifeVantage. Even met his beautiful wife at the company. Pretty crazy story. Now, Dr. Jean, you also, you're perfect for this conversation because I know there's many doctors here watching and different health practitioners. And you had a very interesting clinical experience bringing this to thousands of your patients. Talk to us a little bit about your journey and the clinical evidence that you saw with LifeVantage.
Well, thank you, Rachel, for having me. And yes, when I saw ABC News video that they did on Protandim about 7.5 years ago, actually my UPS driver showed it to me. He got past my front office. He plopped his laptop down in front of me. He says, "You got to watch this." And when I did, I thought, wow, I want to know more. Because when I saw that graph that showed you could lower your oxidative stress to that of a newborn, I'm thinking, I want that. I want to know how this works. So I really went home and looked at all the research I could find on it. I got on PubMed. I put in the.
And Dr. Jean, they're saying you're a little hard to hear. So definitely speak up and come closer. They don't want to miss a word.
How is that? Is that better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
So yeah, I went home and looked research. I wanted to see the research that was done on it. I needed to know what NRF2 was. I didn't know what that was. I knew oxidative stress, but we're not taught herbs in school. I was taught very similarly to Sean. We're taught Western medicine. So we're taught to diagnose disease, and we can treat it a few ways. I can become a surgeon and cut it out, or I can give you a pill and put a Band-Aid on it. But we really are not really taught to look at the cause of the disease or to reverse those diseases. Because when I give you a pill for your diabetes or your heart disease or your gout, it's not to cure the problem, it's to treat an endpoint. So I got very frustrated. As I got older and my patient population got older, I'm passing out more and more pills, and I wasn't enjoying it. I was having to take them myself because I was getting diseases too, those diseases of aging, more and more oxidative stress and inflammation. So I saw that video. When I looked at the research, I came back and said, yeah, I want this. I want this for myself, for my family, my parents, my family, my friends, and for my patients. That's really where I started. I was amazed because when I got this on myself and I gave it to my patients, I had a chance to track everybody. So I really did everything I could. When I first started the patient on it, we had a little questionnaire we asked them to fill out. It was a 1 to 10 scale, best to worst. Things like pain, fatigue, energy, sleep, stamina, those type of things. We did it when they started. We did it at 90 days. We did it at 180 days. And everybody's numbers improved 100%. I did all their lab work. Everything I could check, I checked that the insurance companies would pay for. Their lipid profiles, their hemoglobin A1Cs to check for their sugar, their liver kidney functions, their inflammatory markers. I did everything I could when they started. Again, we did it about 3 to 6 months out. We did it a year out. I saw improvement in everyone. It literally changed the way we practice medicine because I saw people improve with their health. I got people off their medications, myself included. Within a year, I was off all 4 medicines I was taking, and I don't take any now. So I was pretty amazed by something natural because we're not taught those things. When I found out what NRF2 activation was, and I started using it myself and my family, my friends, I was very, very impressed with it. So, and I continue to be impressed. I was not interested in the business. I wasn't going to do that part of it until I started really looking at the business. My biggest phobia in life was public speaking. So I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to stand up in front of people and talk. And I guess I've overcome that. It's a personal growth and development thing. But my belief is greater than ever. Because of the results we've seen, I can tell you 100 stories of people that are whose lives have changed. I spent the afternoon with a couple today that just got done traveling through Europe. She was in a wheelchair 4 years ago. So it's just rewarding. It's very, very rewarding what we do. This is rewarding. This is something that this is a reason I went into medicine, to help people actually get healthier. And that's what we've got. We've got a hold of something that's exciting. It's new. People don't know about it yet. Doctors don't know about it yet. For me, when I actually did the business also, I didn't need the money. I didn't need another job. I had 3 clinics going. I was very, very busy. I wanted time. I was burnt out. I was working for the weekends. I wanted my time freedom. That's really what I wanted, and better health. Well, I got all those things. I got my time freedom because by the time this started growing, I started in 2010. By 2014, I'd sold all my clinics. So I got my time freedom. I got better health. I got off all my medications. I got financial freedom with residual income. I also met my significant other, my life partner, through LifeVantage. So it has changed my life in a number of ways.
Now, Jean, I know that like any health professional, you're one of the first to get hit up with any product to say, hey, I got the magic potion, I got the magic lotion, this miracle juice that you got to put all your patients on, right? I mean, I've even gotten like the messages. And so I can imagine how much inundation you got over 30 plus years before Protandim. And I got to ask, what was that little thing that made you feel like, okay, I've got to take it? Was the ABC clip? Did you just do all the research? Did you just try a few people first on it just to test it? What was that thing that just pushed you over the edge and said, you know what, my reputation is going on this product and I want to get it in everybody's bodies?
Well, it was the science, Rachel. I'm an evidence-based doctor. I want to see evidence. I love testimonials, but I want to see proof. I was born in Missouri, so show me. I want to see it. And I did. That's what happened to me. I went out and looked at the science behind this. I looked at the research that had been done on it at the time. I think we had 3 published studies. We now have over 20 published medical studies, peer-reviewed and independent of the company. That's the biggest deal to me. When the American Heart Association pays for and publishes a study on your product, do you know how many companies would love that? When the National Institute of Health, the National Institute on Aging, studies done independently at LSU, at Ohio State University, at University of Florida, on and on and on. It's impressive what we have. So we don't study a lot of herbs in this country. So when I started to see that, I thought, wow, this is a big deal. And that's really what sold me. I had to look at it. I had to prove to myself in my mind this was the real thing. My reputation was on the line, and I didn't push things on people at all. I made recommendations, but when I saw this and how it worked, I really started recommending people use this. And when I saw the results, I really got a huge belief in it. So that's really where I started. I saw that video. That's really what set me on my journey. If I had not seen that, I probably would never have, really looked at this. But the timing was right. I was looking. I was burnt out from what I was doing, as a lot of doctors are now. And this was just something that came along because I really believe in the law of attraction. I think if you put it out to the universe, it'll come to you.
It's so amazing to watch how your life is transformed. I mean, decades of service to people in more in the allopathic community, and now giving back with LifeVantage, building. Guys, by the way, all of these 3 speakers have built up to now, an elite 7 position with LifeVantage, which is a 6-figure income. And for most doctors, that's not necessarily an upgrade. Sometimes that's just a complete sideline shift to change what they're currently doing. But it's about the time, it's about the freedom, it's about the traveling. Jean, I got to go over your Facebook and see all the travels and the trips you've been taking with your gorgeous new wife. So I'm super happy for you. Thank you for sharing. And Sean and Jean, as you guys are maybe going to the chat, there's a couple questions in there. Maybe you guys want to go answer them. If you guys have some time there, I'm going to bring on our last and final speaker. Is it save the best for last? Definitely our local boy here, Brett Brimhall, doctor of chiropractic medicine. He is our crazy passionate chiro, and he has been teaching health and wellness for over 2.5 decades around the globe. He runs a very successful wellness center here in the Phoenix area, married to gorgeous Holly for over 22 years, and the picturesque kids, right? Is gorgeous, 4 beautiful children. He's a father, husband, brother, doctor, formulator, author, advocate, and a professional network marketer, and proud. And I love this. He's on his way to becoming a free range human. I get that humor right there, Brett. So Dr. Brett, I'm super excited that you're here. Talk to us a little bit about, it had to be a crazy transition for you to go from this, doctor and formulator and medical professional and advocate to now all of a sudden having a side gig, having a side hustle, and choosing LifeVantage. Talk to us about that journey.
Well, hey, Rachel, thank you for inviting me on. I actually am excited about this, and I love hearing Sean and Jean's like stories. Like, it's just so powerful to think about the different experiences we all have and what has kind of got us to this point in time in our lives. And some of them because of painful experiences, like, Sean, where she had health issues and looking for answers and found answers, and Dr. Lucia looking for time. And I love being in the medical field. Like, I grew up that way. My dad's a chiropractor. I have an older brother that's an orthopedic surgeon. I have another brother that's a dentist. I have sisters that's a massage therapist. I mean, that's just kind of what we've always been a part of. So what I've learned about doctors is most of them have this passion and desire, health providers. They want to help people. And along that way, through school and other things like that, life kind of beats us up. And I had taught for the last 20 plus years, and I really wasn't looking for something else to do. I was busy. I was, very active in church and communities, and I loved teaching. But I was teaching for a company that let my dad go. That was his primary source of income that went away overnight. And that really rocked my world, because my plan B was when I got tired of practice, whether my body got broke down, which I've treated a lot of physicians over the years, and they get broke down. And that was my plan B. I'd go teach, but I'd spent 17 years with one company, 3 years with another. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend another 20 years where something could be ripped away from me. I wasn't going to do it. At the same time, I was treating this little boy who was diagnosed with autism at 2. And you've asked, like, what caught our attention? I wasn't open. I've had a lot of people talk to me about products and opportunities. I was never open because I could make pretty much anything. I could go to a company and say, let's put this for me together. But this little boy's life shifted in front of my eyes. I'd worked with him every week for a year. His mom was a LifeVantage distributor, a doctor I had trained from Iowa, referred him into me because she was just looking for everything she could to help him. And I remember he comes in this one day after starting this product called Axio, which we're not talking a ton about, but it's like NRF2 activation, but for brain. And he'd had a 50% improvement in this 11-day time period since he started that product. And I remember like calling his mom, Carrie, and said, I don't know what happened, but he had the best day ever, where he sat on my table, let me work on him, was remembering stuff we had taught him before. And I'm like, there is something different, where that opened my eyes to what we had as a science, that there's something different about these products that was different than what I had. And I remember as I read the studies, and she was out of town, I called her, and she had somebody drop some product by to me so I could start some people on it. One of the first people I put on it was a patient of mine that I've worked with for 15 years. She's been a client. And MS was her diagnosis. And I just remember saying to her, like, let's just see what happens. Like Dr. Lucia, there's 3 things that you're going to need in anything that I've learned. I was taught this through Carrie. Says you're going to need belief in the product. We have phenomenal science. And that belief has come to me as I put some clients on it. And I watched this lady, every time she had a relapse, she would drop down in functioning. And I watched it over the years, high stress, stuff with kids, a move. Well, and then I just did a meeting with her last week where she was sharing her story. In the last 3.5 years, guys, her health has gone like this steadily, where she's gotten better, not better, but like better, where she's now traveling, what she'd given up on. She's been able to function all day. She just bought a different house. They're cleaning it up. Normally she would spend like 10 minutes doing it and she'd be exhausted. So I know this science is amazing. I love how Dr. Sean like went through that for us and like just told us what this new science is. And I love the fact that Dr. Lucia like put it in lots of patients' lives, and that built his belief. I was no stranger to the fact that nutrition worked. I grew up with that. But what I was a stranger to was understanding that what I thought I knew, I really didn't know as much as I thought. So when I saw that happen, those clients that I've worked with for years and saw results happen in a short period of time, and I've watched that effect be cumulative, it got me super excited about what I had to share from a product standpoint. But I don't think I would have taken the business seriously if I hadn't come up face to face with 2 things. My dad having his income ripped away overnight, because that really got me thinking, like, I don't think I want to do what he's done. Like, I don't want to go teach for somebody that can pull it away. And then shortly after that, I end up breaking my knee playing basketball. And here I am, hobbling on a broken knee. My brother reads the MRI, said, you really should be off of it. I'm like, how can I do that? Like, I've got a family, I've got to practice. If I quit, if I don't see patients, I don't get paid. So what I do, I fake using crutches kind of, sort of, for a few weeks until it felt a little bit better, and I still worked on it. So all of that happened. And I went to South Dakota, met the scientist that developed the Axio, and I saw this team that Carrie and her team had built, where she had the time and the financial freedom to do whatever she wanted health-wise for her family. And I realized, look, if I don't come up with a plan B, like what is my option? And so it's taken me, if I knew how to work hard, but I didn't understand, I didn't have a belief in network marketing. So to do this and do it well, every single one of us can be successful at whatever we choose to do, if as long as we believe in the product, we believe in ourselves, and then we believe in the industry we're part of. I didn't understand the industry, so that's where Carrie would send me to get study to read about. But what I learned, guys, is that I have been able to create time freedom because of LifeVantage, by leveraging my time and my talent and helping other people become successful. The product makes it very easy. The results makes it very easy for me, because I have such a belief in what we do and what we can do, and empowering people. And I think, truly, talking about hijacking, my own life has been hijacked many times, not because of things that have happened to me. So my knee was broke, right? I was hijacked, but that hijacking got me looking at something different. My mom passed away from cancer in her 60s. Her mom was 97, her dad was 93. There is no way she should develop that cancer with her genetic potential. But because of environmental exposure that she was unaware of, her body began to manifest things. So I love the fact that we have this science, that we have options now to help things and help people that maybe we wouldn't otherwise. I have that option. But I'm super excited about the business, because right now we're trying to figure out, is this worth you guys' time? Like, is this worth your time? Number one, if you're here, great, and you're gonna watch this after it's recorded, is this worth your time? Now, I love what Dr. Lucia says. He had a good lifestyle, but he didn't have time to enjoy it, right? And I think a lot of people are like that. They may make good money, but that time freedom doesn't happen there. With network marketing done right, with the product that we have, you can create a freedom of time and leverage your time and your talent and create residual income and help other people do the same thing. So I can be anywhere in the world and do that. My wife's already in her head planning what she wants to do for a month eventually when I sell a practice, where we could physically go be with our kids and be with them somewhere in the world, and I could still influence people. My passion is helping people. I love it. Okay, it thrives on it. From the time I was little, my dad would put us in front of a little room, and we'd have the floor, he called it. I learned to speak in front of people. So I love that aspect. What I love to see is where people get it, where they begin to have hope again, whether that's health hope or emotional hope or financial hope. I never could work on the financial hope until LifeVantage, where I can help other people get there. And so for you guys right now, all of us is working, is this financially worth our time? I'll tell you right now, from a time freedom perspective, once you get to those places where you have that leveraged residual income, absolutely the time freedom is there. Okay, but is it worth the effort to get there? To become a medical professional, every single one of us has gone through some things to get where we are. Schooling, debt, right? Late night studying, all these different things. With network marketing and with LifeVantage, there's a learning curve that's going to take place. You want to study and do the things that other people have done that are successful. And that's why I've studied a lot and worked a lot with people that are successful. Carrie's who I've worked with a ton, but she's introduced me to her team. When I met to South Dakota, I met her team. I saw how she had created this team of people that was carrying this massive movement forward, right? And that's how eventually we connected with you, Rachel, and I've watched you build that massive team. So I want to be part of that, using our time and talents to impact a lot more lives. And we have that ability to do that. And I don't know of another product out there where we can impact lives like we can in such a simple way. Healthcare is complicated, but being healthy is not. Your body always wants to get better, but we now have the tools and resources made very simply. I've been a part of teaching over 200 different products. We had that many products because we were trying to find out how to help each individual system heal, as opposed to turn on to the major switches. And that's what we're doing with this, turning on those major switches. Click a couple of slides on the income disclosure, if you don't mind. So one of the things that I remember being asked is, what do you want out of LifeVantage? And I'm going to ask you guys the same thing. What do you want out of life, though? Like, what do you want out of life? Because I think a lot of us, if you have kids, you tell your child what? You can become anything you want to become. I'm going to ask you, do you still believe that about yourself? Like, do you still feel like you can become or do whatever you want to do? And I think a lot of people have lost that, because there's different things that we've come across through life as we've grown up, right? Where it's just not as much fun as it used to be. Well, I want you to look at how much fun you're having in practice. And if you're having fun, awesome. Okay. But then also look at, are you having the lifestyle you want to have, whether that's from a financial perspective or an emotional perspective or a time freedom perspective. If you don't, then I want you to look at the potential of what this company has to offer, because there's probably some words some of you guys are familiar with, but most people aren't. They don't know biohacking, they don't know nutrigenomics, and you're hearing from 3 different physicians from totally different backgrounds, actually sharing together, even when we're not part of the same team per se, other than part of LifeVantage, because we know we want to get this message out to as many people as possible to change lives. And for me, I have a passion. I've taught physicians for 20 years, and I can't tell you a more broken down group practically than physicians. They put all their time, energy, and heart into their people, their practices. And at the end, a lot of times they're physically broken down and financially hurting, right? So why not take our knowledge that we have, our passion for helping people, go out and do that for the world, but you're not limited to just those that you know inside your practice. There are so many people I've got to meet through this, that lives I've been able to impact, because I haven't been in my practice. There's so many patients that don't come and see us because they can't financially come in to see me, or they can't actually find us. So people are out there. We need to go to them, help them have the options that we now have available. So Rachel, click a couple of slides over for me real quick. This is on my way to becoming a free range human. I stole that from Sean Paul. So I don't know what's clicking.
Here we go. This is where we ended off, and then I fast forwarded to the income disclosure.
Okay, cool. All right. So the last thing I'm going to say here, guys, for me, this is absolutely worth my time. Now, it's been a lot of work. I'm going to be super honest with you. Right? It's a lot of work to do this, but it's been some of the most fun work I've ever done. Right? I have to admit, someone came up to me at the last big event and she said, "You've kind of come alive." Right? Running a busy practice, taking care of patients for years, and then coming home and trying to take that half and become a dad and take care of my family. I'd have to say a lot of times my best energy was given to my practice, not necessarily to my family. Not because I wanted that, but I wanted to create a lifestyle for them. But sometimes I wasn't the best version of myself because I worried about finances or this or that. Guys, with network marketing, with the right product, with the right company, it can be a game changer. What I can promise you, if you do this, you've got to learn you're going to start where everybody else started. You're going to start at the beginning, right? Lock arms with those successful. I think that's one of the challenges I've seen with physicians, is that sometimes we try to do it our own way. But if we lock arms, we learn how to do it, how other people do it and be successful, then you can actually use your passion to change the world. And I can't tell you how excited I am to now be in a place where I am, where I have options and where I now have my mind open to where I want my children to create those same type of options for their family, where they learn about residual, leveraged income. They figure out a way to do it that's tied to their passion, whatever that might be. Network marketing is a phenomenal option for people if it's a fit for them. So Rachel, thanks for giving us this opportunity to get together and share this, because that income disclosure is absolutely real. And I'm so grateful to be there, but I'm not even close to done, because once I've realized my fire again, there's a lot more people I can affect, and I'm excited about that, because we have that ability. And really, to me, it's a responsibility, but it's a privilege, where we can go out and we can help people be like kids again and live again and impact lives like we want, because we need a lot of people to make a lot of money, impact a lot of lives, because there are a lot of good things that need to be done out there.
Yeah. And I do think about it so much, Brett, that whenever I'm speaking with either physicians, higher level practitioners, wellness center owners, even, nurse practitioners, like the income is never the problem. It's the time, it's the freedom, it's the flexibility, it's the high stress, the toll that it takes. And often I think I heard that you said such a great way of describing, you had this big epiphany where you saw the potential loss of the linear income. As a chiropractor, you're adjusting, you're healing, you're teaching, right? But if you stop, whether a knee injury or anything worse, right? Heaven forbid, that income stops. And so then all of a sudden it's like, wow, what are we going to do? And it's funny, Brett, it's like you guys all, outpaced my schooling by about 20 years combined, maybe 30 years combined. But I will tell you, when I sat in a room similar, and this for me was 12 years ago, I saw leverage. And it was at 21, and I was working full-time in retail, part-time as a nutritionist. And as a nutritionist, I was trading time for dollars. I was about $40 an hour. It's a lot like a personal trainer. You don't do it for the money, you do it for the passion. And I couldn't even make ends meet, to pay for, medical bills and student loans, and just getting started in our life and newly married at the time. And I remember when I saw that leverage, the fact that I could build a network of consumers, and then as they take the product and as they reorder, I could build leveraged income, meaning I did the work once, I got the customer once, and they stay on the product. And many of our customers stay on for life. And I'll share with you guys as we close some very interesting statistics. And if you guys are considering this as a flexible side opportunity, this is what you got to know. 82% of LifeVantage preferred customers reorder at least once every 90 days. And so imagine having the ability to get paid a phenomenal side income, or what Brett and Sean and Jean have been able to build, a six-figure income based on the efforts you did a week ago, a year ago, 7 years ago. People ask me, Brett, how much did you make your first month? I said, I don't know. I'm still getting paid off of it. I don't know. And that's the amazing part about leveraged income. Now, guys, 90% of the people that we share these products with, they just want to be a consumer. And that's great. Consumers are great for business. Customers are fantastic for business. But there is that 10% of the population that is entrepreneurial, that is driven, that is a big thinker, that want to help others, right? That you heard constantly of all three of our speakers here tonight. They had a desire to help others, and they're going to want to be a distributor. And so, guys, getting started is very simple. We all get started the same way, which is a $50, pretty much a starter kit. It's your license and your website. So it gets you started and gets you your online shopping portal to send patients or referrals to, where they can buy the product. Now, in order to maximize your pay, it's very simple. It's $200 in personal volume. That's on a monthly basis. So to put it really simply, that's you on Protandim and 4 others. That's it, guys. 4 people. Could you find 4 people that you want to change their life for the better? So if you're, for getting started, for most of the professionals here on the line considering this, you're going to choose a pack. We recommend the gold pack or the platinum pack. We don't care. Get in where you fit in. I love the platinum because it is the most variety of product. You get an actual sampling of all the products plus marketing materials, and gives you 2 convention tickets to our next science seminar and our leadership seminar. The next one is in Anaheim, California in July. So 2 tickets, that's about a $600 value, where you can come to the convention, the conference, and you can mingle with other 6,000 other, professionals, but also, doctors, scientists, and, stay-at-home moms and baby boomers and other people that are looking to build a business. And you can get great feedback from those people. You can go up to the Bretts and the Seans and the Jeans and be like, hey, I saw you on that webinar. I've now been building this. What are your tips? It's fantastic. Now, we get paid weekly every time that you get a new consumer started, new customer started, and you sell products. You make 30 to 40% on that initial order. As you build your network, you get paid to build your team. And every month, this is the leverage, you get paid royalty commissions, an average of 5 to 9% every time somebody reorders from you or your network for life. So imagine a year from now, a customer that you shared Protandim with, they reorder, average of 5 to 9%. 5 years from now, they take our brand new Nerf One activator, 5 to 9%. 10 years from now, somebody takes our skincare or our weight management, 5 to 9% coming to you over and over. And we have incredible bonuses that can help get you into the profit sharing of the company as well, which Brett, Sean, and Dr. Jean, our doctors, have all participated, which is an additional income just for building in your leadership. Guys, Brett shared that this is our income disclosure. All 3 of our doctors here are Elite Pro 7s on the line. We can show you an example of what an average Elite 7 will make in their side income. I'm an Elite Pro 9. This shows you what an average Elite 9 can make. The possibilities are really endless. What we're looking for are for people that are life-minded, that are wanting to impact more people, that are looking for a little bit less stress, more fulfillment. They want to be ahead of the curve of providing a really valuable product that's proven and that you can point to and say, you know what, I know that I can put my name on this. So guys, I appreciate your time in watching this presentation. Thank you so much to our very special guests and speakers for sharing their talents, their time, their expertise with all of us. Guys, if you're watching it all, like a little love for Dr. Jean, Dr. Sean, and Dr. Brett. You guys are amazing. And thank you guys so much for taking a closer look at LifeVantage. If you have more questions, please get back to whoever told you about this presentation. Get your questions answered. We have our studies, the patents. We have incredible resources and videos to make sure that you can make the best decision that's right for you, or hop on the line with one of us. We'd be happy to answer your questions and make sure that you feel great about moving forward. So with that, welcome to LifeVantage. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. And this call is officially a wrap.